All
Be
right,
good.
we are
All
live,
right.
people. We are live. We are live. We are live. Welcome to another Black Ice TV7 production in the house once again. We're bringing you a nice show today, the overstanding and unification of kings and queens. We have two lovely sisters in the house joining us today to talk about where they're coming from, what their organization does. But before we do all of that, let me bring in my co-host, Mr. Riggs. Talk to the people then.
Family. Loving you lots, loving you dearly. This is a great day, a big day. You can go back to, we're going in a bit more deeper. We've got two ladies and they've got an organization phenomenal. So in them on middle stall because you need ladies in what direction they're going in. As the title says, overstanding, if you want to put it in that way, or unification, coming together. They're all about kings and queens. How do you do, ladies? Come on, ladies.
I'm good.
Good
evening and good morning, or good afternoon if you're in the States, and good evening if you're in the UK.
Okay. Yeah, now we want you to give us a beautiful description. Doing.
I'm not sure if the sound is doing great at all.
Anyone that feels like the sound is quality on the field is okay, please put your thumbs up or put something into the inbox to see if this is clear. As you know, sometimes we have disruptions and internet problems. I just want people to give us a dedication. Clear. Any response, Rich?
They're coming. But it sounds clear when I'm listening through. So let's crack on and get it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's all okay. It's cool. It's cool.
Out. All right. Sorry, you're cutting out a little bit. You might just want to move over slightly, and then we'll. I can hardly hear your questions and things. So let's see if we can create that.
Terry. Okay. All right. Let's kick this off and we'll keep it moving. Right. So, ladies, without further ado, do you want to start off by introducing yourselves and explaining a little bit quickly about what your organization does and the aspects of jobs you both cover within the organization? Who wants to start, ladies?
Well, hi everyone, UK, US, and wherever else you're tuning in from. Tamara Waffle. I am the founder of Kings and Queens United, and the company really is about repairing the relationship between the Black man and the Black woman. I'll leave the rest for you to say, Sister Mutt.
Oh, really? Okay. All right. Hello. Welcome. Welcome to the show. Okay. So my name is Sister Mutt. Most people know me as Sister Mutt. So my background is in childbirth. Spanning over the last 14, 15 years now, which means that I work very closely with families, and Black families in particular as well. So I get to use my skills, transfer my skills, if you like, inside of this medium. Kings and Queens United was formed on the back of the story of, that Sister Tamal can share if she wants to. And inside of that, we are creating sustainable relationships. We're creating platforms for building on relationships, from events, singles events, couples events, relationship events. So we're doing these events really so that we can, create a space for relationships to thrive, to build, to blossom, in fact. So that's part of the reason for coming together. My interest in particular, I have a strong interest in post-traumatic slave syndrome, as well as the impact of the relationships in Black communities falling apart. So for me, I have a strong interest in that, given the statistics now around, or they say it's 7 out of 10 relationships are in a position where they, Black relationships are not functioning in the household. So that's a concern. And so we came together, if you like, from these two concerns, if you like. So, and then Tamar, you launched and I came on board.
All right. Tamar,
Hey.
speak to us, my dear.
Well, as System says, there is a lot of negative stigma about the relationships between the Black man and the Black woman, and that's right across the diaspora, really. Um, and even growing up from my own childhood and seeing the impact of broken families, broken relationships, it got to a stage, particularly in my own relationship, where it really made me started to think about not just the impact of my potential broken relationship, but of those around me, how it impacts us mentally, physically, spiritually, financially. It impacts our housing situation, it impacts our children, and there is just a lot of repeated cycle that I see around me, basically. Um, but the more I look into it, there's a lot of positivity happening in the Black relationship, which I don't see gets highlighted half as much as the negative aspects of things. And what I really wanted to do in creating Kings and Queens United is creating a platform where we can have these open conversations. We support each other in business or in any other areas. If I want to buy a house, I know who to call to kind of give me advice. If I want to buy a car, but when it comes to relationships, we're a lot more secret and private about what happened indoors, and we tend to suffer in silence. If we need support, who do you turn to? Do you turn to your friend who can be quite biased against any advice they may give you? Do you turn to your parents, where a lot of us, like I said, come from broken homes? So when it comes to building sustainable relationships, there are the exception when it comes to certain parents, but generally, um, from other people I've spoken to, um, the level of advice that we need to be getting when we're in sort of challenging circumstances, um, it seems to be lacking, basically. So I envision a platform where we can come together, have these open and healthy conversations, where we can support each other, we can create platforms to meet each other, to learn and relearn about key ingredients of sustainable relationship. Um, our relationship background stem way back quite historically. And like I said, if we don't try to discuss it and learn from certain mistakes that's made and highlight and celebrate some of the positiveness, then certain cycles can keep being repeated, really.
No doubt. Terry, are you back with us, my brother? Can you hear me? Okay. I know Terry's still having issues trying to get in, but we'll crack on. Okay. So just to be clear, your organization is called Kings and Queens United. Yeah. That is
Yes.
the official name, right?
Yes.
Okay, okay. And at this present time in the community and around town, what are you doing at this moment? Is this a new thing, brand new from scratch? Are there stuff that you've already been doing? Let us know about some of that.
Okay, so we're still fairly new. We officially launched last year, so about a year ago. Since then, we've held around 8 relationship workshops where we discuss lots of different topics from masculine, feminine energy. We talked about the difference between dating and courtship. We talked about self-love, loving yourself as well as love for your kind, and how to bring practical tools about healing and how that can transpire in your relationships. We talked about conflict resolution, like in a marriage, when you are going through challenging times, how certain challenges can be resolved and continue on the relationship as opposed to, um, you know, doing breaking up basically, and continuing the cycle. We talked about bonding, Sister Mut. I remember you took part in that particular session, and it was really fantastic, bringing back intimacy in our relationship, with how social media and other things have impacted the intimacy in our relationship. Sister Mut was really um, fantastic in some of the tools she brought to that session. The feather, when you rub the feather on yourself, how it generates a certain level of intimacy, and feeling and touching and looking in each other's eyes. And so that was, the feedback we got on that one was absolutely amazing. So we've done a number of relationship workshops so far, and we're looking to do loads more over the coming years to come. And like I said, the whole idea is learning and relearning the key ingredients of creating and sustaining a relationship. We've also done some singles events, single mingles, we've done speed dating. And again, it's about creating that platform where we can meet each other. So single people like us, or should I say black single people, because I'm not technically single, can basically meet each other on a healthy and safe platform. And we've done some couples events as well, where the couples, we come together, we discuss certain elements of our relationship. One of the key things for me in that single couples event was really rekindling the love. Most of us at the couples event was married for at least sort of 7+ years, and sometimes we can lose that bit of intimacy. So going back to why we fell in love and what about the person that made us fall in love with them, um, that was really powerful at the singles event. And since then we've done other activities like bowling. Yay. Nah, actually, I can't take the I was gonna say me and my husband won, but we came second. Still good. So, the teamwork, the activity, making time for each other, with the sort of life that we live, we tend to be so consumed on work, business, looking after the kids or the home, that sometimes we basically forget about making time for each other and keeping the relationship alive. So again, that's definitely something that we look to highlight in the couples event. Um, Alongside the singles event, where we've got our dating website as well. So you can check us out at Kings and Queens United. Um, I know some people, they may hear about a dating website and they may not be for it, and that's okay because it's not going to be for everyone. Um, I know I met my husband on a dating website, so basically it can work. It's just another platform to meet other people, and just like how, in my opinion, um, you have to be, quite cautious when you're meeting people on the road, and you've got to, have your common sense, at your focus in terms of understanding and communicating and engaging, connecting with the person you're meeting is quite similar, really, on a dating website. And our website basically connects people in different dimension of compatibility. And one of the key things here is that it connects you on your level of consciousness, really, your level of awareness. So yeah, we've done quite a few things. And looking forward to December, we're about to celebrate our 1st year anniversary. And it's all about celebrating successful relationship in the Black community. Like I said, too often we hear about the negativity, and we really want to bring back a lot of the positivity negativity can be so overwhelming that you grow up and it feeds into your subconscious. But if we can put more positivity in the subconscious, then we believe it can have a more positive impact. So that's what our anniversary event will be highlighting, and it will be on the 16th of December at Rock Island Bar and Grill, Old Kent Road, 320 Old Kent Road. Thank you.
All right. I'm with you. Look at that. You're having all sorts of technicals right now. Everything just totally shut down there and kicked me out even. So yeah, sorry about that. That's it.
Do you know what I mean? Seriously, I could have carried on for a little while longer.
That's right, ladies. You gotta know, you gotta pick up the slack if this goes down. Well informed. That's right. You know this. Just remember the golden rule: no dead air. No dead air. Keep talking. Keep smiling.
Right, right.
So you was going over you was going over the events, and you got to a certain point and then it dropped for me. So did you finish covering where you was at? And did you add on to that system? All right, so I came back at the right time. So there you go.
Come and really showcase themselves as well, because a lot of people in the Black community don't know who's available to them in terms of relationships. I've been working in, my field is quite different, but that field that I'm in is very rare. Still, people are trying to learn about what it is that a professional birthing partner does. So it's also important that scholars or healers or um, people, speakers from our community, experts in our field, people are, who, have the skills and the strengths we'd like to bring them on board in terms of how we deliver our program to the community. So it's really important for us at Kings and Queens to have an environment which, it cultivates relationships. It sows the seed for relationships. It opens up the ideas and the possibilities for relationships. It makes people think about what kind of relationships they want to go into. It makes them think about what they want for them, for themselves, and has them assess themselves more. It gives people who don't necessarily get a chance to live mindfully to have an opportunity to access mindfulness through what we're up to as well.
All right, all right. So you was talking about the fundamentals of relationships. Some of the key elements that you personally, or the two of you, feel that are important that your organization tries to work on. Let's go over some of those that you tend to focus on in the activities that you do in the Kings and Queens organization. What aspects do you find are most important or most problematic when it comes to relationships?
Mhm.
All right, do you want to, shall I start? All right,
Yeah,
so,
go on.
okay, so let's look at, if you look at the strengths of relationships, or what we try or seek to implement, is an awareness, is a awareness of self, is an awareness of your mate. It's knowing the love language of your partner as well. So we go into that discussion. We also elements like intimacy. A lot of people can be together for a very long time, and intimacy is dead between them. And it's also reconnecting yourself. It's a bit like, how do you like your eggs? Some people don't know what they like and don't and like. So, those are important things. And these factors, masculine and feminine energy is a very important factor as well, because the dynamic of a masculine and feminine energy means that you can easily neutralize relationships, which is one of the problems, one of the major problems of now, given that there is a gender dynamic right now. Who knows who's male and who's female? So if you've got that kind of dynamic, yeah, inside of society now, it means that you can easily neutralize each other and become housemates inside of your setting, and then you don't know why your relationship is not working. You don't know why you're not communicating effectively. You don't know why you're not looking at each other the same, and that has a lot to do with the masculine and feminine principle and the polarity of that. We deal with, obviously, conflict resolution is important, so that's important. It's going to be conflict, so there's ways in which to deal with conflict. There's also traditional ways. We like to think about we like to bring the historic principles into things, and that's something we will develop further inside of Kings and Queens United, and ways in which our relationships, predating now, what they were like. So those are things that we are, looking to step more into as well as we go forward. I think the importance of, communication for sure, ensure that is, number one, communication styles. I think that's very important in terms of how, you communicate, who communicates where, when, the kind of, I suppose the it's kind of like, it's the ethics around communication. There's a lot, when we talked about social media plays a major part in, yes, helping relationships to grow and bond, but there also needs to be a healthy balance between social media and human connection. Human connection is we're always going to need human connection, no matter where we are on the planet, no matter how digital our age gets. We're always going to need human communication and connectivity. We're always going to need human touch. And so it's about finding the right balance and making everything that's around us at this time in our lives, in 2017 onwards, making what we have around us relevant, and empowering people with these mediums, whether it's, social media, dating websites. The way people connect now is very, very different. Instagram, Snapchat. So we have to be aware that, given the types of people that come through the door at Kings and Queens United, it's important that we can cater for as many people's needs as possible. And so that means dealing with a range of what the issues are. Young people, when I speak to young ladies, they can't find young ladies in their 20s, they're struggling to find a man of a level of maturity. They're ready to plan their families, and those guys aren't. And so there's that readiness is important. And I think what Kings and Queens has to offer, it gives a people a platform to open themselves up for a relationship, create the opening for one, speculate about how what it would look like to be in one, dip their toes in the water of the conversation without having to necessarily dip their toes into a relationship at that point if they want to come to workshops. Of course, if we have events, we have different events that come up. It means that those events are geared towards couples, singles, and relationships, forming relationships. So we try to cater for as many as we can. And I think with the level of conflict and the level of confusion around relationships, Kings and Queens does its best to cater for what it is we need in our community.
No doubt. T.
I agree. I agree with you, Sister Mut. Particularly when you touched on social media, and I know the sort of day and age that we live in. There is sort of the urge of instant gratification. So, like, that's one of the things that social media has brought to us. You know, for example, if we put a post on Facebook, on Instagram, where, you know, as soon as the notification comes through, we're quickly looking to see how many people's like or commented. And sometimes when that doesn't happen as quickly as we would like, we tend to, you know, feel a certain negative emotions within us because, you know, we're not getting that instant gratification. When you bring that into a relationship, what are you looking for in a relationship? What are you bringing to the table? What are you trying to get out of this relationship? Are you thinking about, you know, the longer term commitment aspect of things and how things may change and how you guys may grow and evolve together and setting future goals, building legacies? Are we thinking that far ahead? Or is it more about what we can get in the here and now? I know this doesn't apply to everyone, but you know, looking back in my childhood, in my younger days, and people around me, it was all about, you know, a guy with the money, um, and what we can gain from that. You know, we look at the package rather than what's inside the package. And all of that plays a part in who we're looking for and what we're trying to get out of it. So Kings and Queens United create the platform where we can have these conversations and, like Sister Mut says, create a level of awareness. So I can reflect back now and say certain things about what I was looking for, what I thought I was looking for. Um, Whereas now it's a completely different viewpoint. And I'm so grateful for many conversations that we workshops because, you know, once you're on a journey, you're constantly learning, you're constantly open to new ideas and new level of awareness. And that's what Kings and Queens United workshops bring. Um, that's the main thing I wanted to add. There's loads more I could literally go on about. It's definitely a topic that I'm passionate about.
No, no. Well, you covered it nicely, T, and more definitely. The thing is, again, what I want to remind the people that are watching is you're going to be seeing these sisters again because what we have planned is a few more shows to come where the sisters will get a chance to go in a bit more on the various aspects of relationships as they're talking about now. And we'll have other guests on with them. That's the plan in place. So again, look out for that. And today's show, if you don't know, is the overstanding and unification of kings and queens. Yeah, and we're talking to two sisters that have an organization, Kings and Queens United, and we've just been going over their activities that they're hoping to plan for future tense and they're doing as well in the present. And we've just been covering aspects of relationships that seem to come up or become problematic at certain points in time. So, we know you had an event the other day. If the people didn't know, yeah, you had a singles mingler. Is that the right term?
We had a single speed dating.
Okay, single speed dating, right? And I know you had okay numbers, yeah, but you was
Yep.
lacking in males. You needed more males to come to the show.
Yeah.
Now, again, in relationships, we know with the communication and the different aspects of the male female um, gender, there's different factors that come into play. So, in your minds, and I'm just going off the cuff now, what do you believe is the reason why you're lacking in men supporting some of these things in our community? Is it the fact that they're not open to talking? What do you find is the struggle that you have enticing the males to come along? And in general, what is the male um, interaction like on your courses and the stuff that you've done so far? How have you found that so far?
Okay. I mean, generally, um, there is always whichever event you go to, unless it's a men's only event, there is generally a higher portion of women than they are men. Women are a lot more sociable. This goes back to impacts that we are being faced with in our society, and men are being faced with a slightly different impact than us women. We're more being pushed forward to be confident and to be breadwinners and to exercise our masculine energy, uh, and that does impact on our men, in terms of how they saw their role. um, it, like I said, it goes quite deep in terms of how that sort of portray, in today's world. Most events I go to or that I'm aware of, there are generally more women. And at our events, we've got a ratio of sort of 65%, 25%, 65% women, 25% male. So generally, again, we get a lot more women. Um, However, this singles event was exceptionally low on men. And we have, had many discussions about it since as to what happened, kind of thing. And one of the things that we sort of highlighted was the whole term, because it was called speed dating, and the whole term of dating. It's you know Organically, the man is supposed to sort of chase after the woman and woo her, and it does something to his ego. Whereas, if we're sort of structuring a speed dating, we realize basically that it may not be something that our men are into as much as our women. Men like it a lot more casual, a lot more relaxed and free flowing. They don't as much like to be put on the spot. Whereas us as women, we don't want to feel like we're wasting time mingling. We want to know what we're doing. We want to get on and do it. And so basically, the structuring of our event we've established didn't really work for our men. So we'll be restructuring the events and moving forward with our next singles event on the 1st of December. And we're also re-strategizing in terms of how to connect with more of our men. If you are a man and you are listening, a black man, single, and you're looking for your queen with inner beauty, someone that you can build with, create legacies with, then check out our Kings and Queens United website, kingsandqueensunited.com. KINGSANDQUEENS. UNITED. I will post it in the comments as well, .com. And also check us out on Eventbrite, where you'll be able to book your tickets. Yeah.
So just to add to that, really, I mean, when it comes to you asked the question about men and men getting involved. I think it's a very time. I mean, it goes back to what Tamar was saying about men, needing to chase the hunter together, or the situation that speed dating can. Why we did, in fact, so that you know, is that we initially did a mingler, which was quite a balanced ratio of males and females, and then to speed dating, and so then we gave them speed dating. Yeah, so that was important. We weren't actually going down the speed dating route. Now what happened with the speed dating, as soon as black women hear speed dating, it's on. Right? Speed dating, it's like, it's simple maths. Right? That's us. For the male mind, though, speed, when men want to take their time or take it slow, or be able to remunerate around things and assess their options and weigh things up. Speed for them may feel like an interview. So therefore, those two, that word formation is not conducive for the male. So, and that's great that we've learned that. I think that's the important thing to establish, is that we've learned that. It's like, okay, hold on a minute. This word formation, though people know it, though people ask for it, actually, is it not trying to be Eurocentric or, in its term, because obviously if people ask for it, we're going to do our best to give it to them. But it wasn't something that we initially had come to the agreement we were going to do. It was asked for, it was called upon, people came, and a high percentage of women turned up. And I think that's important. That's why it's important for us in Kings and Queens United, taking it back to things, if we're talking about dating versus courting, I think it's very important for us to find our own way in how we court. If we look at relationships, we are in its infantile stage. As a community, our relationships are very infant. We have no other race has been through 500 years of disconnect like we have. So therefore, it's really, really important that when we start comparing us to European relationships, they're in a different space. We do come with our challenges. We do come with our drama. We do come with our post-traumatic slave syndrome. We do come as damaged beings. And the thing is, one of the things that we want to do with Kings and Queens United is recognize that, that we are, if you like, small with souls that can be broken or have been broken, whether it's ancestrally. And therefore, with that, is creating a space for healing. Relationships in this day and time, when we're choosing to be in a relationship, know that we're coming to a relationship to heal. So therefore, if we're in a relationship to heal, then we are now, it's about men. I think the importance of men, and I shout out to men, that, women, when you see women congregating, whether it's at church, whether it's at this event or that event, we have the same structure. We want to communicate, we want to heal, we want to grow. That's our structure. And so we call on men to feel that. We call on men to tap into what it is that the woman is about. And the woman is about development, is about growth. And so therefore, it does take, men can grow on their own, and they can grow with their male friends and their business partners, and where their hobbies lie. But if people are talking about strong black woman syndrome, they're also not looking at the fact that women might be strong. I mean, all this strong black woman syndrome, I'd like to differ, because who wants a black woman that's weak? I don't know about that, right? So I think we should just cut that altogether. However, there is the fact that, while on the opposite end, don't think if there's strong black women on this side, there's certainly lonely black men on this side. And that is what we want to be able to address. We want to be able to address men's loneliness, their ability to communicate, their ability to open their heart, not just their minds to information, but their heart to information, to connect at a heart level. It takes heart work. It takes vulnerability. It takes trust. It takes power. It takes something that you don't get from your job, your work, your children, your car, your house. It takes something. And so we call on men and we implore men to come into our event and come in, whether it's via events, whether it's via the website, whether it's via the dating website. It's important that, you know what, we need you, and we won't be able to do this without you. And our community cannot go on with you being isolated over there and being lonely over here and strong black women being over here. That's just unworkable. And if we're serious about our healing, then we'll make that transition.
No doubt. That's it. And that is the key element. That's the unification bit. That is so needed that I think you're leading into
Yeah.
right there. Um, T, you look like you wanted to say something. Did you want to add on something?
No, I think I was jumping ahead of you because you're about to lead into it, so I'll
No,
wait
go
for it.
ahead. Take charge. It's used to show. So follow your heart and go with what you was about to say, my dear.
No, I was just gonna sort of continue on from what Sister Mott was saying in the sense that um a lot of what we've gone through as black men and black women, I know lots of people will be like, oh, let's not talk about slavery anymore, you got to move on. And yes, as a people, we do need to try and move on. Not to say that we're not still being impacted as we speak now and, when we wake up tomorrow, etc. But there are things that we can do to try and help ourselves, and unity is one of the key. Um, in order to unite, definitely, we need to heal as black man and as black woman. We've lost a lot of love and respect for each other throughout the years that's occurred. Um, but now it's up to us to take back control over that. And there may be times where we come on the same platform that we don't agree with each other, and that's okay. That's part of the process. Let's keep coming back to these platforms. Let's keep learning and relearning about each other. Um, a lot of us women, we don't know much about men. We don't know much about how to communicate with them when we're trying perhaps to get a certain point to our partners and they may give us one-worded response. We may feel like we know what that means, but do we really know what's going on in their mind? Do we really understand how to get the best out of them? In my separation, I recall doing some research about how to communicate with your partner, and I ended up sending my husband a message saying, I owe everything I have to you. And that sort of one line message, it consisted of some key words to my husband that really connected with his soul. And from that day onwards, I actually saw a difference in his behavior. Now, I'm not saying I'm an expert in how to communicate with our men. What I am saying is that it is something that we have to keep learning. And similarly, our men, they may not really understand us. And understand how to get the best out of us. They may think, we're a bit loud or we're a bit argumentative. But maybe it could just be that you're communicating with us in a different way. Let's keep going. Let's keep these platforms going where we can have these conversations. We can keep learning about each other and healing together, because there is no point in one half heal and the other half is not heal. It's never going to work, and it's going to keep creating and repeating the same cycles that we are trying to um, overcome. So yeah, definitely we love our men and we promote a balance between the man and the woman in terms of creating sustainable relationships. It's not necessarily about one gender having a certain role over the other, or the other one gender having any sort of superior, I can never say this word, superiority. Yep.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
thumbs
yeah.
up. Over the other, but rather a key balance between both genders where it's about supporting each other. It's about uniting, and it's not, relationships is not just about the man, woman, and the child. It's also about our extended family. If we can show love to ourselves and love to our partner and our family inside our home, then the next stage is to extend that love to our extended family and community. As we, as a people, we try to unite and support each other.
No, most definitely on that one. Hold on, more.
Can you hear me?
Say that again now. Start that.
Yeah, just to add on the conversation around community. The other thing that becomes important, and this goes back to, the African principles that we want to be able to bring to this, is, the village mindset. Yeah, and so it's with that, it sometimes in the West in particular, yeah, when you get married, you're usually left to get on with it. I know that when I was married, we were just left to get on with it. And I think that's important, that we also, it becomes a holistic dynamic where, into over time these things branch out. Even when we're talking about legacy, we're talking about, okay, what you grow and what you pass on, but also what we teach. Let us not be underestimate, if you like, when our relationships, if we're, the mothers and fathers of civilization, can you imagine what it'd be like if our relationships are coming back together one by one? We are unifying. Yeah, that will have a knock-on effect and has an impact on the community around us. It breeds a air of support, of structure. It's not alien. Like, it's not like when you're hearing people split now, it's like, oh, it's normal. It's become normalized that, there's a one parent household. That's become normalized. Whereas it really is about, if you like, if the world is spinning one way, it's about respinning that. It's really about turning it on its axis. And so really what we are looking to do is create some kind of shift, yeah, in our community, and make us, stamp our name inside of the community to be the kind of organization that supports the family. So so even summer, we did a trip to the beach, with cornmeal porridge on the coast. so we knew it. you know. So
What was some
therefore,
delicious cornmeal porridge
so next
with
summer,
festival?
the beach, So, it's about family events. It's about children experiencing Kings and Queens United. It's about the children experiencing, okay, well, they're getting something from this. Oh, what's the benefits? What's my children benefiting from it? What's her children benefiting? What are the children of this community? Because there'll be obviously people who are parents. What are their children? How is it impacting on them? So, even down to supporting the family structure, supporting, whether it's people helping you with childcare now that you're involved in a relationship. All of these dynamics are, it's about really allowing if you like, the magic fairy dust, if you like, of Kings and Queens United to really kind of like make its mark, and also, have an impact, however small, continue to have an impact, and however large, to continue to have an impact on people, and allow for families to experience the power of it, extended families to see the power of it, the village as a whole to see the power of it. And so it becomes something that, whether people speak about it in word of mouth, send it as an email, send it as a WhatsApp, send it whatever it is that they want to do to share Kings and Queens United. It means gives people an opportunity to know that something is available to them, because most people don't have something available to them, and not everybody's going to sit down on a one-to-one with a counsellor. Or a psychiatrist, or or some kind of other platform, or go to I don't know, some kind of like thousand people seminar. A lot of our events as well, they're at this stage, they're very intel, and it allows for people to open up. When you ask the question about, what about the males, and how do they operate inside of the space? Actually, when the males are in the space, you find that a lot of the men that enter the space, they're very open. The ones that attend, it's a real open space for them. It's rushing for them to come to a space and be spoken to, not emasculated, spoken to and spoken about with a lot of love and reverence. It's very empowering for them. A lot of men are left more empowered, certainly left all men more empowered than when they got there, as the women. So I think it's really important to not underestimate the power of the male heart as well. So I think, we're obviously in our first year. We've got the if you like, our dinner and dance coming up in December, but we've got a lot of things in the pipeline as well for next year.
No, that's it.
You touched on the whole counselling, marriage counsellors, and I just wanted to sort of comment on that. Now, what I find is that many people in the African and Caribbean community, basically, when it comes to asking for help, we struggle to do that. When it comes to asking for help when we need it, particularly from professionals, we struggle with that. So basically, we won't or we're unlikely to know about marriage counselors or know of a marriage counselor until perhaps at a time when our relationship is breaking and we're in really vulnerable and emotional places. Now, based on how we're already programmed, a lot of us wouldn't want to go to a marriage counselor. Um, I know when I was in a relationship breakdown myself, um, I didn't have anybody around me that was encouraging me to go to a marriage counselor. Instead, everybody had their own views whether or not I should take my husband back or we should break up. But I don't recall advice about speaking to a marriage counselor. Now, when I even approached my husband about going to a marriage counselor, it was one of the most challenging things. It was like pushing water up the hill, as they would say in Jamaica. Um, and this is where I think that the workshops that we do, it comes in really handy, because it's not about waiting for your relationship to be breaking down before you create a certain level of awareness um, of some of the things that can impact your relationship, and therefore some of the things that we can already sort of put in place from now, practical tools, prevent us from getting to certain stages in our relationship. And even if we got to those stages, what to kind of do to rescue and survive our relationship and keep it going. So yeah, you touched on the whole marriage counselor, and we work and we have marriage counselors in our network, and we have had counselors come and give certain talks as experts in their own field, and we are definitely in favor of marriage counselors. I suppose what part of the job that we can do really is bridging the gap between the marriage counselors and our people. So if you've heard of us, if you've come to our workshops or events before, and you felt like you needed the help and support of a marriage counselor, that is something that we can look to refer you to, and it will be part of our aftercare service when we look to launch it next year.
One sec more.
Can you hear me?
Go on, love.
Okay, so yeah, it's important for us to have experts come in and discuss things because because people may see a counsellor on a one-to-one and they may not, but in a setting like this as well, we are giving people an opportunity to experience professionals as well who people would not normally have any relationship to, or it's a safe space is what we create, a very safe space for people to share what they think. It's a safe space for people to do, to be able to experience a professional in that field and not feel intimidated by it, and it then opens up the airwaves, if you like, for them to contact that person directly if they want to. And like we were saying about an aftercare service that we're looking at putting in place for next year.
Okay, okay. There's a lot going on, I tell you. And again, people, if you don't know, thank you to everybody that has been tuning in and in the chat room. Like the video. I hope you're enjoying the information the sisters are bringing so far. Um, this show is called The Overstanding and Unification of Kings and Queens. So we've been covering everything from dating down to the family dynamics and the wider community support that goes into maintaining a marriage, a relationship, a family. Um, and the sisters have just been going in on some of the services that they offer and workshops that they go through. At this point, I want to say big up to Terry, who cannot get back into this chat right now through technicals. I don't know what's going on today. It's all a madness, very up and down, but he's tuning in nonetheless and says big up and sorry. He'll be back next time with us. I want to take this opportunity as well to big up other black media entities out here, the Titans TV, the Content Over Everything, Raspek Official, Speakers Club, Sarnetta TV, Black Magic, HMP TV, most definitely in the house. Yeah, support, because again, with our black media, we won't have these conversations. You won't get to hear our narrative, and we won't get the information that's needed. And remember, the show is only meant to spark the mind into action. You're meant to take this information, this stuff, these organizations, and use them. Go out there, attend the events, attend the workshops, support Kings and Queens United in what they're doing. And again, sisters, um, I know we've touched on it, but I want you to go in on this event that you'll be holding in December. Just remind the people of what you're looking to do and what that's going to be about. If you could, whoever would like to take that one.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, go on,
Okay.
Sister Mo.
Go on. So, all right. So, we're planning to have an event at Rock Island, Old Kent Road, and the event is really, again, goes back to the celebration of and success of Kings and Queens thus far. It's an opportunity to also launch our website, dating website, acknowledge sponsors as well, and also anybody who wants to sponsor the event. Please contact us by our email address and by the website at kingsandqueensunited.com. And so this is an opportunity for couples to come together, for people who whether they're single, whether they're married, whether they're in a relationship or not. It's an opportunity for all the different people that also who've supported us as well this year, and people new who want to hear about Kings and Queens United, to come together, socialize and look at also best we can serve the community from there on. So, I mean, it's a great opportunity. I know that yourselves, Black Eyes TV, will be supporting us. Yourself and Terry will be supporting us for the event. So we appreciate that in advance. And but yeah, carry on.
Yeah, I mean, just to add to that, the evening is going to be, like I said, it's about celebrating the success of long-term healthy relationships in our community. So we will share some success story. We will have live entertainment. We will have Caribbean dinner and drinks. It's all going down at Rock Island Bar and Grill on Old Kent Road. If you've been to any of our singles event, then you would have already know the location. Rock Island is a black-owned Caribbean restaurant. They've been so supportive of what we're doing. They are one of our main sponsors as well. And I must say the food is absolutely delicious. So what's there not to like or support? So their postcode is SE15UE, and that's where the our anniversary event will be on the 16th of December. It's just going to be a fantastic evening of celebration, celebrating some of our key success as well. And we will end the evening with a dance. So come in your dancing shoes. If you have your partner, bring your partner. If you don't, I'm sure there'll be many people there as well where you'll be able to dance with. um, so yeah, I'm so looking forward to it. It's just a buzz, planning it, thinking about it, and just knocking back the negative stereotype and bringing something a lot more positive for us to look forward to, ending the year, and then all the fantastic plans of events and workshops for the new year.
Most definitely, most definitely. I'm looking forward to that. And again, make sure you keep your ears to the ground. We'll have some information once this video goes up of the event, when it's coming, any future workshops. There'll be information and places to reach the sisters that are doing their thing. And again,
Yeah, sorry, I tried to post.
go on, my dear.
Sorry, I was just saying that, I did say that I was going to post the link on the live chat. So I did try to do it, but Facebook, YouTube is like, no, reach a policy. So yeah,
What link are you trying
uh,
to send? I might be able
the
to help you.
website link.
Yeah, let me do it. Okay, cool. No worries. I might be able to do that. Okay. Carry on. I'll do that. That's fine.
That's all right. So again, before you leave us, is there any other aspects of your business or the kings and queens element that you really want to highlight and drive home before we wrap this up?
Well, I would like to add that since launching the business, our internal team has grown tremendously to the point where we've got a balanced team of 3 men and 3 women on our team, and they bring an immense amount of expertise in their own individual field. So, looking forward to the new year, taking on board more feedback from the public in terms of what they want. There is full confidence within the team that we'll be able to deliver more than what's already been seen. So it's almost like, if one person or 2 people can put on all that we've spoken about so far, imagine, having 6 heads of 3 men and 3 women, how much more we can do. So, the balance within the team, um, the numbers that we have, the expertise behind it as well, um, the knowledge, there is, like I said, there's a lot to look forward to. So as Sister Mut says, if there is any business out there that is listening to us, they want to sponsor or support the cause of repairing black the relationship between the black man and the black woman, whether you're a hair company or you're a counselor, you know, you're a masseuse, you're a restaurant, it varies really. As long as you can identify with the cause and you'd like to support the cause, then we would ask you to get in touch with us. Contact number 07478. Sorry, I'll say that again. 07494 882829, or our email address info@kingsandqueensunited.com, or you can always contact us through our website www.kingsandqueensunited.com. Is Richard still there?
You there, Rich?
I'm here, my dear.
Black Ice.
I'm here. So, Sister Mort, what are your closing thoughts, feelings, or any information you want to give about yourself, about the organization, or any closing thoughts? Take it away, my dear.
I just want to I just want to thank everybody who's tuned in this evening and be prepared for a really great few weeks with Kings and Queens United, because we will be putting on other shows in the next coming weeks, including next week. So watch out for those. And so that means that, it really is about bringing people into the space, bringing our experts in. It's about, being on the sofa with our experts, sharing your questions, engage in the shows, and, get involved. And by doing that, you'll be able to get involved in, the Kings and Queens United events as well. So don't forget to go on the website, check out Eventbrite. You are always having events coming up. We have the 1st of December, which is the next although we may look at the words formation for that, but we will have a singles event on the 1st of December. And yeah, I just really want to thank Black Ice TV for hosting us, and Terry, even though you weren't available this evening because of technical difficulties, your spirit is still with us, Terry. So thank you so much for having us on the show. And yeah, we look forward to, many people coming through this medium to Kings and Queens events. Find your love partner, find your life partner. Let love reign. Love is the highest knowledge, is my closing thought.
I'm just going to say, that was beautifully done, Sister Mutt. Seriously, absolutely beautifully done. One final word. Family is the foundation of every single person. No matter what your family is like, embrace, love, and heal together, because that is your foundation. And let's keep building and rising together.
That's all. Beautiful.
Thank you, Richie. Thank you, Terry. Thank you, Black Ice. And thank you, everyone, for tuning in.
Thank you, Black Ice.
All right. People, it's been a squirrely show, technically, but a beautiful show, information-wise, as always. Thank you to Kings and Queens United. Again, this is only an introduction for these sisters. They'll be back on with guests, going a little bit deep into certain aspects of relationships, and again, re-highlighting what they do and any events that will be up and coming. So watch this space. Big up to Terry Riggs. Yeah, he'll be back next time, and we will see you soon. Thank you all for tuning in. Peace.
Love and light.